do now? I guess we could talk about the Jeff Kaplan thing. So, let's talk about the Jeff Kaplan thing. For people that don't know my title, or for people on YouTube, it says Stop Speculating, You Dumbasses. Pretty self-explanatory. So the whole thing, today, I guess Jeff Kaplan, he said, as of this statement, he's leaving immediately, which means he probably gave us 2 weeks a couple weeks ago. And he's leaving Blizzard. Now, this is after... I'm not super up to date on everyone that left, but there's been a pretty good exodus of people that have left Blizzard at the higher rank, let's say. A lot of key developers, a lot of key people, a lot of designers have been leaving. You can find their YouTube videos and why they left. But why did Jeff leave? We don't know. And honestly, we don't need to know. But I'll give you what little knowledge I have of people leaving companies at that type of level. Old Blizzard is dead. Old Blizzard's been dead, guys. It's been dead pre StarCraft 2. Yeah. So saying it's dead is guys, it has died. We have visited its grave on a 1-year anniversary, a 5-year anniversary, and a 10-year. We're getting on the 15-year anniversary of Blizzard dying. It's not news. Activision pretty much... The way that things are going, it feels like either they're going to beat a dead horse till they get all their money out of it, or they're kind of pitching Blizzard to sell maybe to another company. Right? But I don't want to speculate on that, because the whole topic was don't speculate, dumbass. So let's not. As far as Jeff Kaplan is concerned, I'll say something that I guess him leaving, there's been positive and negative things said, and I just want to straight up say, one, he should be absolutely proud of what he's accomplished at Blizzard, and two, when it comes to Overwatch itself, there is no reason not to be proud of what he's done. I'm just going to Google randomly, and I know it may be completely wrong, but amount of Overwatch games sold. Okay, it says it's sold over 50 million copies. So, let's just say 25 million. Copies were sold. Let's cut that in half. Cut it in half. Okay. At $60 a copy, he only made, and it's obviously it's not him. At $60 a copy for 25 million copies, he only made, according to Google, if I did 25 million times 60 correctly, $1,500,000,000. So from a money standpoint, I think he did just fine with Overwatch. Overwatch has done pretty well. Now, if we think about everyone bitches about the balance, including me, that is only gains though, and not counting loot boxes, and that's cutting the amount they've sold in half. Look, it was in development for a while. Yeah. But okay, so let's say you've only made $1 billion over 10 years. Who gives a fuck? That's a shit ton of money. And the fact that they progress the game, and this is the thing that people really don't understand about game development, and even I don't even understand it that well, but they put the game, it was it used to be that, I believe it was Titan was the old IP, and they kind of revamped it into Overwatch. The fact that they put it from start to finish, and this is coming from basically the original, I don't want to say the original One Trick, but definitely the original One Trick. After all this development cycle, after all this stuff, from day one of Overwatch till now, to current Overwatch, you can still play any hero and reach top 500 if you're skilled enough. And that's coming from the guy that's been one-tricking, from the beginning, one of the weakest heroes historically in Overwatch. Still to this day, he's definitely one of the weakest heroes. So, overall, like, he's done a good job with balance, too. Even the small stuff. Like, he's done very well. Like, there's nothing to be sad about any of all this stuff. Like, it's... He's done great for it. He has nothing to be but proud of what he's accomplished. Now, that being said, he's leaving Overwatch, and Blizzard, and people are like, oh, but what's going to happen now? So a lot of people may be upset at the direction Blizzard had made with Overwatch 2, and them, like, basically not releasing content right now, and focusing on Overwatch 2. Now, that can be debated, good or bad, yada, 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 but that would be a direction I would see that someone would make at the director or high-low, like, basically where he's at. I think we'll be thanking him for that decision and that direction when Overwatch 2 happens. Because everyone that's bitching, like anyone that bitches about bugs in the game, at this point, I don't want to say there's pretty much no bugs. There's some, and I know Doomfist mains will come out, and he's not a Junkrat player, we see Trap Break all the time. All of these bugs, what they come down to is the physics engine. Especially like Junkrat Trap, the thing we see most issues with. All Doomfist stuff is all physics based. And they're like, oh, they could fix that. And it's like, alright, if you start changing the physics engine, anytime two things interact, that's the physics engine. You're fucking with everything. And you're like, well, do Doomfist kind of get a bug every now and then, or do we patch it and risk fucking up the entire game? And they're probably just like, can you get the top 500 with Doomfist? Yes. Can you carry with Doomfist? Yes. Can you just destroy an entire team solo as Doomfist? Yes. Let them deal with the bugs for now. The fixes will come with Overwatch 2, because it's going to be a new physics. It's a heavily upgraded physics engine. It's a heavily upgraded engine overall. So, that direction I think we'll see in the long term to be the correct way to go. And did they have to pull content now to get Overwatch 2 properly developed? Here's the deal. People are like, oh, they should have hired more people. Depending on how the company is ran, and it's Activision, so I'm guessing they're not giving Jeff new cards to fill if someone leaves or if they need to hire new people. So the hiring process, I would say, is just out of his hands a little bit. So the fact that, like, oh, why can't they just hire, like, 50 programmers, yada, yada, yada. It's like, they're not just going to hire a whole bunch of people if they don't want to spend the money. That doesn't come from Jeff, that comes from above. So they were just doing what they had with what they had and the people they had, and they made this decision for the best of Overwatch in the long term. That's what I truly see Overwatch 2 kind of happening, and why it's in that direction. So all the people that are blaming Jeff for the decision of not releasing content now, I think is a bit bullshitty. Not just for the reason I just stated, but if you think Jeff could just be like, oh, yeah, okay, let's make new content. Get it done. Then you're saying the game director at any game could just turn around and be like, hey, guys, can you just make more stuff so we make more money? And everyone back there's like, oh, fuck, more stuff? I thought you meant less stuff. And every game would be, like, infinitely profitable. And that's not how it works. So I don't really see as a bad thing to focus on long term and not bring in people. But again, I guarantee that's an Activision, not a Jeff Kaplan deal. Than just to be like, oh, let's keep on releasing content and have the game basically hit a ceiling because we can't do anything without upgrading the engine heavily, but we can't get people to upgrade the engine because they're making content now. it feels like he's screwed either way, but Overwatch is in a good spot overall. I understand at the higher levels of gameplay, like there's balance issues, but for the most part, there really isn't. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I bitch about Echo and Hitscan all the time as a Junkrat player, but the fact that I'm like I can hit 4,300 in like the worst season ever, that's not this season, but the fact that I can do that, it's just like, all right, that's pretty well balanced. So I really don't give Jeff any hardship for that. Like I said, I do think in the long term we're going to sit back and we're going to go, fuck, it's a good thing they made Overwatch 2, because we don't even know how us here don't even know how the engine is limited in Overwatch. So like the only stuff we really know about role passes, okay, yeah, that can be done. What are some new things in Overwatch 2? Obviously, the whole PvE system, the talent tree, all that stuff, that's on the new system. We haven't really experienced the physics engine, and that's like the big thing. Because no one's really played it. And even if they did play it, they're kind of doing PvE, and they don't really notice the physics engine being different. So that would be a big deal. I'm curious if the networking deal has been upgraded. Because then you can actually look at, should the shooter be favored? Like, really going at some fundamental layers stuff. And that's what I kind of want to get at with Overwatch 2, and that's what I prefer for them to go at in Overwatch 2. But everyone's just like, content. I need new heroes, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, new heroes, I would say, are one of the easier parts, because you just kind of get a new hero, you put them in, balance it. Obviously, designing the hero, making all that stuff is a lot of hard work. But what's even harder is fixing the fucking physics engine and stuff like that. I imagine that's the thing. If they roll out a bug in the physics engine, man, everyone's fucked. So no, I've never worked at a game design company, and I don't know what kind of pull directors have, like a game director. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they don't do anything. They are a bit important. Especially for the overall direction of the game. But I don't know how much clout they have and how fast they can actually change. From personal experience, I will say this. At a large company, a new director, for them to actually come in, sit down, tell everyone like the views and the direction they want to take everything, will take 6 months to a year at least, if not a year, before they can actually start changing what they're doing and going to the new style and going the new direction. So Jeff's gone. Is everything going to be great? Guys, we have no fucking clue. We have no idea. You won't see any changes really for about 6 months. But then again, I don't work for Blizzard. I don't work for a gaming company, so I can't look at it and be like, oh no, game directors have absolute authority. They are like a dictator. And if he says, hey, let's release a new hero right now, it gets done. I can't say yes or no for that. There's a comment. It says Overwatch 2, they don't need Overwatch 2 to fix a physics engine. It's strictly a business decision or something to keep the profit. Game is old. So, this discussion comes down to gaming as a service. I'm old. I grew up with you getting a game. Maybe they release a patch or two to fix some stuff. After that, it's up to modders to keep it alive until the expansion. And then you buy the expansion pack. And then it comes to some upgrades and some stuff like that, and maybe a second expansion will come along. Most likely not. At that point, it's just up to the modders, and the company kind of moves on. I really like that model. Obviously, I think there could be a bit of a merger between gaming as a service and just kind of like releasing multiple expansion packs. Because I look at early access and gaming as a service, and I see all the times it's failed, and then I look behind me and everyone says, oh, gaming, if you don't do gaming as a service, you're fucked. And I'm just like, all of my favorite games and the greatest games that have ever been created weren't gaming as a service. They were games that were created and released properly. I feel like gaming as a service is a result of us requiring new shit so fast that they can't really like test it, and they just kind of push it live. When things fuck up, they're we're fixing it. We're constantly doing stuff. No, the whole thing about events happening and all that stuff, I think that's really cool, but I don't like gaming as a service, personally. Like, I don't want a gaming company to have to constantly make new shit over and over to keep their game relevant. I come from old school, so like I played Quake 2. I played the same shit for like 7-8 years. That's what I did. I got really good at it. That's why like people are like questioning my Discord. Bro, all other streamers are getting burnt out. How can you keep on playing Overwatch and still be happy about it? Because I fucking grew up just playing the same shit over and over and over and getting better. I played it for the love of the game, not for the new shiny thing. So for me, you can create all new heroes, and sure, that makes it nice and shiny, but man, if I can get some new tech on Junkrat and whoop some other people's ass, like just humiliate them with the shit I pull off, that's what I'm after. That's what I am. I'm all about the mastery of the game rather than just this experience that just gets drawn out and out and out and out and nothing like... It feels different, but you don't really get, like, the leg up after a while. I don't know. It's different. Oh, sorry. I wish that was true. I've been playing the same game since 2006, and I still suck at it. Look, playing something as a hobby, there's no shame in that. You play it just to have fun, and that's it. My type of having fun, and Magitech can attest to it, is I'll play something that's bitter. All right? There's a kung fu saying, and it says, learn to eat bitter. If you're not happy doing the same thing over and over and over, then hard work isn't for you. Like, I just play games that just absolutely destroy me, and I'm just like, fuck you, game. I'm gonna beat your ass. And I'm like, yeah. And then I did it, I'm like, I did good. I beat its ass. Thought it had me. It didn't. Fuck you, game. And then I go on to the next game, and that's it. It's interesting. So, for all those people that are upset at gaming as a service and Blizzard not following it, fuck them. I actually support Blizzard in not doing gaming as a service. Especially with early access and all this alpha shit, and like you have games like... I understand No Man's Sky made a great recovery, but at least we forget. Like, there's the... What is it? The Remembrance box. It's a meme. They're like... this guy's girlfriend, she was really super hyped for Cyberpunk. And what he made her do was hold the box of No Man's Sky that she pre-ordered while she watched Cyberpunk stuff. Like, don't forget what that shit did. Alright? That we all got burned for that. And I've seen so many games, I've bought a bunch of early access games. They were cool, but I'm just like, games fucking suck. Like, they could be a lot better if they just got a good game and release it. But they want easy money, and they just do something half-assed and release it, and people buy it. And they're like, oh, the early access, if it's half-assed, not my fault, you bought it. And I'm like, man, I wish games just released games that were finished and good. And that's how it went. Do I prefer that Overwatch came with X Heroes and never got updated? With an online game, you need to have balance constantly done. I see it like Dota. And I know Dota, basically, it's not even gaming as a service because it's all free. But they do, to me, besides releasing new heroes, when it comes to Dota, I don't give two fucks about new heroes. Don't care about them all. What I care about are about the balance changes. Making the game fresh, making the game good, making it just keep going. So do I want them to release with, like, they release Overwatch with 30 heroes. And they're like, guys, Overwatch 2, we're going to give you 20 new ones. I wouldn't be opposed to that, no. As long as they kept balance and things going on throughout the game. Yes, Stockbird. Yes, the No Man's Sky developers did fix. I heard the game's good now. I haven't bought it. I haven't played it, but I have read that the game's made a huge turnaround. Will Cyberpunk do that? I don't know, but I don't know. And it's just gaming's in a really weird fucking state. And I look back for all the people that are like gaming as a service has to happen. It has to go this way. And I just look back and I'm like, man, no, it doesn't. All these cloud-based services, all this new hippity-dippity stuff, like, there's nothing wrong with releasing a solid game, being done with it. Patch it a little bit. There's things you won't find. Just patch it a little bit. But then, leave it like that for a while. There's nothing wrong with that. And then after, 2-3 years, like the old school, make an expansion for it, let it hit fucking hard, and change everything and be done with it. And for the people who are like, oh, Overwatch 2 is a money grab because they could just make the changes to the physics system normally and all this other stuff. And I'd say, well, you don't have to buy Overwatch 2. You get everything for free if you just play multiplayer. In which case, no loss to you. There's nothing wrong with what they're doing. And to you, if you don't buy the new version, you are getting the new physics engine. You are getting the upgrades. You're getting everything with it. So, to you, it's not even gaming as a service. It's just free shit. Fundamentals for games, mechanics, creativity, and fun will make a game last more than monetary strategies. Correct. And I think this is the... So, everything in life happens in it's all cyclical. It all happens in waves. It comes back, it goes together, comes back, goes together. If you want to look at population, everything was going to the city, and then the people in the city were like, fuck this, I'm getting out. And right now we're in a different bubble or wave, whatever you want to call it, where everyone's kind of moving back towards the city. And, in probably 10 years, everyone will move apart from the city again. With computers and technology, everyone was doing, just to describe it, basically you had one server that did a thing. And then people started lumping servers together and making, one server that did multiple things. And they all put it on all their eggs in one basket. And then they realized that basket would fail, so now they're expanding again. Everything does this in waves. So the whole thing is gaming coming here, going gaming as a service. It's probably going to pop back. And it's probably going to be on the indie developers. And just an outside perspective looking in, I don't know if there's any truth to this. Who made games originally? Gamers. Then there was money involved in it, so they got more business people, more marketing people, more people that talked about gaming instead of actually being gamers. That's kind of where we're at now, and we're hitting this peak of business people and marketing people are ruining gaming, and what we need to do is get all these businesses out of gaming, get it back to gamers making games. And that's what the indie boom right now is. It's just people that are like, I fucking love games. This is a game I always wanted. No one was making it, so I made it. Here it is. Is this fun? Yes. Great. Awesome. I think Hades from Supergiant Games is one of the very few true early access games and experimental success stories. I know Magitech has it on the Switch. I'll have to play that game eventually. But if we talk about Hades and Supergiants, they're on my shit list right now. Alright? Supergiant came out with Bastion. Fucking love the game. Wonderful game. They came out, Transistor. Also wonderful. I love that game. Their third game. I have to look for it. I forget what it's called. I was angry. I was very angry and disappointed. Pyre. That fucking game. Pyre was Final Fantasy X Blitzball with art. I played it and I go, these motherfuckers. You know what they did? They go, oh, everyone loves our games for art and music, and there's all this other stuff. Let's see if we can get away with the game that's just that, no gameplay. It's just like a fucking pick your own adventure book. Fuck them for making that game. I'm so angry at that game. It was so stupid. I played it, I beat it, and I was like, this game, there's no game. It was just art and music, and it really showed how far you can go with art and music alone. And I kind of like it from that perspective. I'm like, man, Supergiant, you fucked us all over, but hey, that was a sweet ass experiment. And then they released Hades, and I was like, you gonna fuck me again? And I haven't bought the game, but she did, so I'll play it. I won't buy it.
I have it on Steam too.
She has it on Steam too. So, my halfway, because in most cases when a developer would do this to me, no, you're dead. You're dead to me. Maybe, unless you make a really good game. But most of the time you're dead. But I'll play it, I won't buy it. And I'll play it on her stuff, and I'll see how it is. And I'll be like, alright, if it's good, I'll be like, alright, Supergiant, you're back with me. Stream it between games? I don't think it's a game that I can really stream it between games. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah. I mean, that took a weird turn into gaming as a service and all that, but hopefully people enjoy the talk. Let me just wrap this up. Long story short, Jeff Kaplan, be proud of what you did. Don't let anyone shit on your parade or rain on it. Whatever you do at a parade. I don't. Are we going to see any different stuff in Overwatch? Probably not. I don't think we'll see any difference, especially with Overwatch 2 being done. Now, I will eat my words if this guy just goes, he comes in, and he's just like, who's that fucking guy from Spider-Man, the newspaper owner? Where he's just like, Overwatch, we're changing it, now! Release 6 updates in the next 3 days! And like, maybe everything changes. Yeah, bring me a picture of Spider-Man, but he's like, give me a picture of Tracer's ass! Put it on a statue! I want it out there, now! And everyone's like, oh shit, we're getting that thing that we had to change at the start of Overwatch, if anyone doesn't know of that. There was some model, I guess, where Tracer was like looking behind her, and she's like, yeah! And everyone's like, this is clearly just to show her ass more. And they I guess they got rid of it. It was a victory pose. What a bunch of shit. Like, I'll say it. I'll say it, guys. Tracer's ass isn't even that good. In fact, it's probably one of the worst asses in Overwatch. Look. She has a pancake ass. It's This is fucking serious? Like, this is, you guys are like, yeah, look at that. But she's a tomboy character? Magitech.
What? I have a fatter ass than he does.
Do boys not have asses?
It's 50-50.
It's 50-50. Look, you can be a tomboy with an ass. I am, in fact, a boy.
I am a tomboy without an ass, so there's my reputation.
She's working on it. Alright? But I got a booty. Alright? So you can't be like, well, she's a tomboy, which means she's, a little more physically active, a little bit strong. It's like, look, no, you can be all that and got a big ass. Alright? Let's look at Zarya. She has baggy pants. She'll fucking kill you with that. Widow's got an ass. Widow's got a back problem. Alright? I don't think she has an ass at all. I think it's an optical illusion because her back is so fucked up that you have to think there's a butt there. We got off topic. This new guy could do something crazy. And I'll eat my words. Then Chro, whose ass is the best in Overwatch? I mean, isn't it May? She got the big old booty. Like, if you just want good old booty, May. Zarya, that's what I like. It'd be like Zarya, May, or Pharah. Actually, I bet Sombra's got. She probably got an ass. Roadhog, yeah, thick as fuck. That's for sure. But yeah, this new guy sounds like a yes man, but I could be wrong. Yeah, that's the thing. We don't know, and that's why I want to say stop speculating to everyone. All I can say about the whole Jeff thing, the guy did damn fine at his job. He did a great job with Overwatch. Really, he did. There should be no like complaints from a director's point of view of what he did with Overwatch. He did phenomenal work. I think him focusing on Overwatch 2 and making the hard decision, if this was the decision, focus on the future, don't release content now, let's fix this shit and make it good for later on. Release an expansion for PvE. Because if you guys don't think they need a game for PvE with Overwatch, you're dumb as shit. Alright? The intellectual property that is Overwatch, to fucking sit on it without any story or anything like that, you have players. If you go to the forums, go to the Blizzard forums. Every now and then, just go there. I'm not saying take it as truth or fact or anything like that. Just go there and observe. Don't judge it, just observe. There are people that are like, I want Mercy. She's too weak. She needs a grenade launcher. And a trap. And some mines. I want Mercy to be Junkrat. I'm like, well, then just play Junkrat. And they're just like, no, I want to play Mercy. And I'm just like, all right. You have some hard-on for Mercy. Sure, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Sure. But it's just like people attach themselves to characters so hard in this game. And to not take advantage of that, but not to explore that IP, not to build on these characters and their lore and everything they've done, is dumb. Like, it quite literally is $1 billion idea to expand upon this. And again, it's an IP, so they don't have to keep it straight to FPSs and stuff like that. Like, you can expand upon it. Not as good as, like, I don't play any Riot stuff. I don't like them. But what they've done with League of Legends, where, like, they have their IP, League of Legends is their main deal, but then they split it off and they're like, we can use this IP for whatever the fuck we want. First-person shooter, fighting game, card game, whatever. Doesn't matter. So going on, like, expanding on their IP is perfect. And should we pay them for it? Yeah, why not? I mean, if you don't want to, then you don't. Then you just play PvP and you get all the upgrades for free. So, we'll see the direction of Overwatch and what it does and how Blizzard's heading. The only bad thing about this whole thing about Jeff leaving is that a lot of people have left Blizzard. And if you look at all of the people that have left, they've all said the same thing. They short-sighted money over gaming. Like, of the game, of the quality of the game and stuff like that. Yeah, there's some writing on the fucking wall. That's for damn sure. Maybe Jeff left, like, because of that. Maybe he didn't. Who knows? Jeff, being a director of one of the hottest games in the last decade, I don't think the guy's going to be hurting for work. He's going to be doing just fine. I wouldn't even be surprised if he took a break right now and then started up his next thing and wherever he's going. Because you have game... was it Frost Giant? Is the new RTS game from the previous developers of StarCraft. Like, a good chunk of Blizzard associates went there. Like, I think like 4 to 6 people, like good people from Blizzard went to to Frost Giant. Wait, did a lot of people also really leave? Yeah, like there's a very large amount of people leaving Blizzard. I think the new guy will fight just as hard as Jeff did for a wholesome monetization system. With the talk about the legality of loot boxes, if I was any major company that made their money primarily on loot boxes, I would get the fuck out. It's a little bit too volatile. You don't want to be like, if they start passing laws saying you can't sell loot boxes to minors and whatnot, or you can't sell loot boxes at all, as it's a form of gambling. If you are stuck on that system and you have to pivot quickly, you're bad. You can't. Even if a company doesn't care about their game, they want to care about making money with it, so they're going to get away from that system. Jose, you need to read up more on this. Yeah, like look up Frost Giant and all the. I think they siphoned like 4 to 6. I mean, I know the main people in Frost Giant are all from Blizzard. Like the top 5 or 6 people are just like, yes, I used to be like the primary game designer at Blizzard. Oh, I developed. The one guy I know is he handled all the. He was the main director for the PvE system, the co-op system in StarCraft 2. A lot. So, writings on the wall with Blizzard. The thing that sucks is they have a lot of IPs that I just love. But man, they fucked them up in the last couple of years. StarCraft 2 is just not a good competitive game. I don't know. They took the game in a direction I didn't like. I'm not a fan of StarCraft 2. I like the old Warcraft games, but after what StarCraft 2 was, I don't want them to do anything to Warcraft 3 and fuck it up even more. Also, the Warcraft 3 Reforged was an absolute failure. Bad. Diablo. I love Diablo. Diablo 1, awesome. Diablo 2, even better. Somehow, don't know how, even better. Diablo 3, a shit stain. I fell asleep the first day I played Diablo 3 because it was so bad. They said they're fixing everything that they fucked up in Diablo 4. We'll see about that. I wouldn't make any promises. If you're going to play an ARPG, just play Path of Exile. But even then, starting to think that Blizzard's really taking their audience for granted. They're abusing their audience currently until they beat the dead horse out of money, and then they're going to get rid of it.